Today, we're diving into a really incredible story from a classic Buddhist text called the Sutra of the Three Transformations in Past Lives. And let me tell you, it is quite a tale, full of sacrifice, compassion, and a central mystery that spans across lifetimes.
See, it all kicks off with this one simple question, but it's a question that sets the stage for this whole epic journey. One day, while he was teaching, the Buddha did something very unusual for him. He smiled. But this was no ordinary smile, and it starts a chain of events that reveals the very heart of what enlightenment is all about. So yeah, why did he smile?
To get to the bottom of it, we have to go back to that very moment. So picture this. The Buddha is sitting with a huge group of his followers, teaching them about the path to freedom from suffering. And then, all of a sudden it happens. His face starts to glow with this brilliant, almost otherworldly light. And from his mouth, a beam of five-colored light just erupts, shooting all the way up into the heavens. And right there, on his face, is this rare, peaceful smile. Everyone knew this was a huge deal.
The whole crowd is just in awe, you know? But it's his main disciple, Ānanda, who really gets it. He knows the Buddha doesn't just smile for no reason. There's always a deeper meaning. So he stands up, shows his respect, and asks the question that's on everybody's mind. World-honored one, why are you smiling?
Now, you'd think the Buddha would just give a straight answer, but he doesn't. Instead, he starts to tell a story. A story from a lifetime so long ago it's hard to even wrap your head around it. And it begins with a truly shocking act of compassion.
He basically hits the rewind button on time, taking Ānanda and everyone there back to this kingdom called Uparavat. The Sutra says it was this incredible, prosperous land where people live for, get this, 20,000 years. But even in a place that sounds like paradise, you could still find unimaginable suffering. And this is where we see that stark contrast. In this rich, thriving kingdom, a prostitute stumbles upon a scene of just absolute horror. A new mother, so crippled by starvation that she's about to do the unthinkable, eat her own child just to stay alive. The prostitute sees this, and she knows there's no time to go find food. So, in this unbelievable moment of pure selflessness, she takes out a knife, cuts off her own breasts, and offers them to the starving mother. She just says, "Eat this. Save yourself and save your baby." Wow. It's a visceral, shocking act of just total giving.
An act that profound, well, it sends ripples through the cosmos. The chief of the gods, Indra, sees this happen from the heavens. And he's a little worried. He's thinking, is she doing this for some selfish reason? Maybe she wants my job? So he comes down to earth, disguised as a holy man, to test her. He asks her, why would you do something so painful? What could you possibly want in return for that?
But she doesn't ask for money or power or even a better life. Her answer is just, it's on another level. She says she's looking for a state that's totally free from birth, old age, sickness, and death. A place of pure tranquility. In other words, she's seeking full-on enlightenment. When Indra hears how pure her motivation is, he bears witness as she makes a vow. She says, "If my intention was pure, without any regret, then let my body be healed and let me be transformed into a man." And instantly, her wounds vanish without a scar and her female form changes. Just like that, she becomes a man.
But hold on, the journey for this soul is far from over. That transformation? That was just the first major step. Now as a man, his destiny is about to take another huge, dramatic turn.
The people of Uparavat, they hear about this miracle and his pure heart, and they make him their new king. And his reign? It's like a golden age. He literally puts treasure at the city gates for anyone to take if they need it. He rules with such perfect justice that punishments just aren't needed anymore. The land itself seems to respond to his goodness. Rice literally grows overnight ready to be harvested. Amazing.
So after 500 years of this amazing reign, he thinks to himself, giving things to people is one thing, but a greater sacrifice is to give to the animals. So he gives up his throne, walks into the mountains, lies down on a rock, and offers his own body as food for the birds and the beasts. So we've gone from giving a part of his body to giving his whole body. The dedication of this soul just keeps getting deeper. And now we get to the third and final transformation, a story that might actually ring a bell for some of you, but maybe you haven't heard it in this context.
He's reborn again, this time as the son of a really wealthy Brahmin, so he's born into the lap of luxury, has everything you could possibly want. But that deep spiritual drive inside him is just too strong. As a young man, he walks away from it all, his family, his money, his whole future, to live a simple spiritual life in the forest.
One day, he's walking with two friends, and he stumbles upon a scene that's, well, it's heartbreakingly familiar. It's a tigress, so weak from starvation after giving birth that she can barely even move. And in her desperation, she's looking at her own newborn cubs as her only possible meal.
Now his companions see the tigress and they are terrified. They take off, running for safety, but he stays. His resolve is just absolute. He knows what he has to do. First, he cuts himself to let his blood drip into her mouth, just to give her a little bit of strength. And then, with no hesitation at all, he lays his entire body down in front of her. The ultimate sacrifice to save both the mother and her babies.
3 lives, 3 mind-blowing acts of selfless giving, each one more profound than the one before. A prostitute, a king, a young ascetic. And now, this is where the Buddha brings the story all the way back to the present and reveals the incredible connection between them all.
He looks at Ānanda and says, "That prostitute who gave her breasts, the king who gave his body to the birds, and the ascetic who fed the tigress, they were all me in previous lifetimes. And those 2 companions who ran away in fear, well, they were his future disciples, Kashyapa and the future Buddha, Maitreya."
And this right here is the key takeaway. Because of the sheer, unimaginable power of this compassion, this boundless giving practiced over lifetimes, he was able to jump ahead on his spiritual path. The Sutra says he fast-forwarded his journey to becoming a Buddha by 9 entire eons. He basically got there ages before his companion Maitreya.
And that, finally, brings us full circle. We have all the pieces of the puzzle now. We can finally solve the mystery of the Buddha's smile.
That smile wasn't about some future event or just a happy memory. It was the physical expression, the actual glow of all the boundless joy and merit that he had built up through those lifetimes of radical generosity. It was a smile that reflected the very cause of his own enlightenment, the profound, world-changing power of selfless giving.
The Buddha wraps it all up with this incredibly powerful statement. He tells Ānanda that if people truly, deeply understood the amazing results of giving, the incredible joy it creates, they wouldn't think twice about sharing, even if it was their very last meal. It's a challenge, really, to see generosity not as losing something, but as the most direct way to find real, lasting happiness. Makes you think, doesn't it? What would the world look like if we all tried to live that truth?